death by duty, not so much, oh my gosh, it's alive!
I've been hosting this panel for like the past few years, and I do it as a roundtable, very informal, we talk and discuss and hypothesize and this and that. And this year I invited people because it'll be a lot easier to go with other people. My name is Candy, and I am the official host of the panel, and these people I have invited up.
Woo! Yay, people invited up.
Introduce yourselves.
Go normal people!
Hi, my name is Brian. It is an honor to be up here.
Yes.
It was a great surprise. I'm one of the obligatory male fans of Sailor Moon. It was the very first anime I got into when Toonami gave you a choice of this or Dragon Ball Z. I chose the shoujo. It had nothing to do with the transformation scenes.
Hello, my name is Nina. I'm dating him. He's lying. I actually got into it back at the same time. We've actually been friends since pretty much back then. Actually, the first time I met him was I was walking down our hallway at school, and he had a picture of Sailor Moon in his locker, and I was like, I love Sailor Moon too! I was like, oh yeah, me too, like, never, and I didn't talk to him again for another year. I was so embarrassed. But yeah, how big of a fan I am is
I am also one of the obligatory male members of this round rectangular table thing.
Yay!
It's round in spirit.
I guess in my case, I got into Sailor Moon because a lot of people were talking about it, and I'd never really given shoujo a chance beforehand. I know I'm bad, but so I just went for it, gave it a try, and I was hooked. I try and see every episode. Unfortunately, though, by the time I started watching, I'd missed a lot of it, so I'm still trying to get back to a lot of the first episodes. So.
Hey guys, I'm Sailor Saturn. Yeah.
Hi,
So I, of course, was very kind of young when it came out. You guys remember it used to come on at like 11 or even midnight, so I'd be sitting up with my older brother just waiting for it to come on. So, yeah, best time of my life. My mom was like, you need to go to bed. And I'm going, no, not till I watch Sailor Moon. I don't care.
Hi, I'm Sabrina, and Sailor Moon was like a really small thing, and it just recently came back into my life. it recently just came back into my life. Like I sat, I think me and my sister over winter break sat down and watched the entire 6 seasons. Maybe 6.
All 200 episodes.
Yes, 200 episodes plus the movies. All 5 movies. No, there's
Multiple
3. Well, there's more than 5 movies, aren't there?
There's a movie.
There's
for
3
every
movies,
season.
and
Yes,
there'll be
there's like 6. We watched all the movies. I know. I can tell you every season finale. And I can tell you all the bad things and the good things about each sub and dub. I know the anime and the manga. I'm your go-to person for anything.
And I can tell you how many times she cried over the pathetic dubs. But I'm Lena, and I make a lot of really bad jokes, so I shouldn't be up here. I'm related to this dork, and I can verify that she watched that many episodes because I fell asleep for half of it. But like at 6 a.m., she hasn't fallen asleep, and she's like eating like Fiber One bars, like watching Sailor Moon. So I'm up here because like I have the entire first season on like VHS. Like there's more dust than episodes in that box. Yes. The only reason I'm up here is because I'm charging my cell phone. So, and I like Sailor Moon too. Don't worry.
I recorded them off of Toonami on VHS.
Oh, yeah.
I have like 12 of them.
I'm Nick. I'm just here to run the projector, and Pinkie Pie down there is running tech support.
I love how people just like.
I haven't actually seen any of Sailor Moon, but I've read all the manga. Mainly because I was trying to convince her to read One Piece. So we agreed I would read Sailor Moon if she would read One Piece.
Well, I cosplayed Toshigi, so it worked out enough for him. But yeah, if everybody that I got into Sailor Moon before it was even on Toonami, when it was on like the random blocks on UPN 9 at like 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. Before Toonami got it, and then I was sad because they took it home.
See, I had to do it on Toonami because I had school at an elementary school that started classes at 6 in the morning.
No, I had to get on the bus at 7. I woke up at 6, watched Sailor Moon, took a shower, and went to the bus.
I could have gone to. There were 2 schools that I fell into the district for. One was like the other side of the tracks, and one was this practically Harvard for 6-year-olds. I went to the one on the other side of the track so I could get home in time to watch Sailor Moon.
Good choice.
Yes.
Good life choices.
So,
Turned out okay.
this is a copy paste from the wiki page because I was throwing stuff together to make sure I had at least something.
I can summarize that, I swear to God.
Yes. Well, I have a really bad scatterbrain up here, so if you want to summarize it, go right ahead. But
Can't summarize Sailor Moon.
You can't, man. It's like,
yeah, there's Sailor Moon. Well, we all got into the anime. I got into the manga later, and but there's the live action, which I got into in college. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
I watched all of them in college. I was like, college.
They were so awful.
I know they were so bad. It was like watching Ultraman, but worse.
The codename Sailor V manga, I don't know if it's still here, but I saw it yesterday for like $9 for the first and second one in the manga league.
Yeah, I tried looking. I didn't see it there.
Really? I looked yesterday at like 2
Like I finally managed to get back to that corner. I was like, there it is, Sailor Moon. Oh.
I didn't have money.
Yes. Let's see. Go back.
Run mall.
Find the date. Oh, go forward.
Wasn't it
Go
92
forward.
that it aired?
1992 to 97 is when the manga first. I have that all written down. I went through. The first edition is the 18 volumes. I have the original first edition first book. I got it from a library.
I do too.
The library had it to check out. Checked it out 2 weeks or a month later. I think it was a month later. They have a month checkout thing. I'm like, oh, I lost it. Yeah, here's $10.
I just want my hot topic.
Do you know what the retail price for those motherfuckers are? They're so expensive. Like if you're trying to find the first edition, you can buy up to like $1,000 for a set. So
Yes.
I actually. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
You go.
No, I found a huge stack of like the old floppy ones, the mixed ones.
Oh yeah.
At half price. I found them at half price books
I
for
have
like
a bunch of
75
those
cents a
for
piece. No joke.
I
bought all of them.
I actually read the first edition online, the entire thing, like 10 times, and I'm looking at like Barnes and Nobles and everything. It's not the first edition.
Yeah,
It's
there's
more
actually
the-
three editions of the Sailor Moon now currently out or coming out. And
Yeah.
that's, well, we're not getting the 10 volume ones yet. That's in Japan only right now. There's a good chance we'll get them eventually.
Probably
Yeah,
online.
Kodosha or however.
Kodansha.
Kodansha, yeah, I'm gonna kill that. I kill everything.
I can.
We'll more than likely grab those and make more money because they're gonna do that. And then, yeah, the anime ran right fairly close to the manga, and that's why we got the wonderful filler R. Because they were only planning on releasing the first season, and they were gonna end, but it got so popular. They were like, "Come on, give us more," and they had to give her time to write. So that's why we got.
Dan and Ellen, right?
Yes.
Yep.
It wasn't bad.
It was very Cardcaptor Sakura style.
Yes, it wasn't bad, but it still wasn't that great either.
It was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go for these.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That
Since,
one down again.
Where this one is right now.
Well, that one.
yeah, here we go.
talk really loud.
Yeah.
Who's cried over
Must project your voice to the back of the
Armstrong's
room.
back there.
Use your Armstrong voice!
He knows what's up. He knows
All
what's
go
up.
deaf!
I just gotta say, I'm really glad that that guy's in here. It's gonna be awesome now.
Yeah!
Like, it was awesome before, but now it's like doubled.
Who has cried over expensive Sailor Moon merchandise? The struggle is really, really real. Major Armstrong, are you a Sailor Moon fan?
Yes!
Okay, question, you guys, on the panel. Who's gonna have a hard time buying the limited edition Japanese English subtitled sets when they come out? Because they're gonna come out.
The manga or the anime?
The anime. the
I've
new one.
actually been looking at them on Amazon. They're like,
Do you know, have you guys excited for the reboot in June?
Oh yeah, I got a whole thing on.
why?
They keep changing the dates.
It's
so
perfectly
and Struggle plays.
Oh, that.
Yes, I have a little thing on. I did go through and like, this is what we know definitively right now. The manga will be influencing the anime's look, so we are not going to have the stock anime look of the original. It's going to look fairly, I guess, similar to what we see in the side there, probably a little more stock than that. Yeah, we'll stream worldwide in July, simultaneously in 10 different subtitled languages.
Yeah!
It's a series, not a movie, so we're gonna get like 20-some episodes, minimum.
Yeah!
Word is gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be closer to the manga. Official backstory to the Senshis besides Usagi, anybody?
Kidding couple.
please, Dixie.
Yes.
Yeah!
I always got pissed off when I found out about Ray's Crows actually being like Luna and Artemis, and we never heard about it in the anime.
They give it one, like,
They mentioned
5
that.
panels.
Yeah, in the manga they mention it and they turn into themselves and they're the ones that give Rey the eternal form.
Was it?
Oh, I remember
Was it?
that.
That's not from Deadwood Circus. That's
No,
when did they show up?
that's gotta be Super S because
Yeah.
that's when everybody
Because it
starts
wasn't
getting
for
Supers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the ones that gave Rey her eternal form, and they explain, and yeah, they go into the backstory of Artemis and Luna and those two, and how they're from different galaxies. They come to help them, and you never hear that.
Oh no, I never.
Yeah, but even in the manga, they didn't talk about that.
No.
Oh no, they tell it in the manga. It's mentioned a few times. That's
Wait,
when
which edition?
Galaxia steals the stars.
Which edition do they talk?
What do you mean?
First, second, third, or all of it? Do they talk about the Artemis and Luna?
That's in Stars. When Galaxia is
Oh.
stealing the star seeds, they take Luna, Artemis's, and Phobos and Deimos' star seeds because they have star seeds. Yes, and I don't really pay attention, but the people who are singing it are going to be that name that I'm going to destroy. Clover Z.
You have it written Momo Hero, but I wonder if it's
Middle Clover Z.
And we do not know if it's going to be the original anime's thing or if it's going to be what they kind of said they were singing.
They did a live performance.
Yeah, but
they streamed, but they didn't verify.
Yeah, it's not
They just did a
verified.
cover of it.
Yeah.
But they did say if you want to hear the new Sailor Moon theme song and sing a song. So.
But it's not technically verified. That's more than likely what it is. Toei will still be in charge, and again, names that I'm going to be horrible at saying.
Didn't they like get some of the voice actors to be like
Yuji Kobayashi.
No, the voice actors, Usagi and Mamoru, it's not official yet. The chances of them reprising their roles are high, but it's not official.
like 85%?
They better. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
If
Usagi comes out with some weird voice that's not the original, I might be like,
Oh look, One Piece.
This is one of those or else moments.
Though, if it ends up being like from DIC's dub to Ganion's dub, voice change, I may want a new Usagi. I don't like Ganion Pioneer's dub of Usagi. It's horrible.
that's kind of my
These are, like I said, all official stuff, officially announced. What we mentioned about Usagi and stuff, and the actual theme song is not technically official yet. Even though chances are we can assume. Okay. Oh, and onto the round table. That was more or less what I had. And we don't have internet, so. Yeah, no. We ended up at the Crown, so no internet here.
Oh well. Improvising.
Yes, this is what the round table is. It's you guys, us, everybody talking, fandom, bringing up thoughts.
Fun.
Is it just a revamp of the original series, or is it going to be like a book?
It's going to be closer to the manga. So yeah, think Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh!
That's the best way I can think to.
Get the door closed. Yes, no?
Yo, door guard. Can we close it?
No, here, Bane will do it.
Yeah!
Armstrong.
Go Armstrong!
Okay, while those two are up, I just have to ask, has anyone else in here ever thought of the idea of Bane versus Major Armstrong? Anyone?
Oh,
I'm thinking about it now.
Yeah.
Do it!
Fight!
Wait, we're Detour fighting's not allowed. Both of you get out.
You want to fight about that?
Wait until after the convention.
She's the guardian of death. I wouldn't do that.
But I'm the strong arm alchemist. Using along has been passed down generation to generation.
This is her panel. She rules.
She's also the guardian of rebirth.
Well, strong arm.
Without death.
I'm already alive though.
I'll bring you back. That's wrong. I gotta kill you first, but I'll bring you back.
Brought you into this room.
Maybe not the same way, but.
Strong arm alchemist
mommy
or
of
no,
the
the law still is the law.
You know, I was always confused at the end of the.
Why would you do that?
That's his wallpaper.
Because it's funny.
But I always got confused. They mentioned, I think, at the end of the first arc of the manga, you know, the first arc of the anime, where Saturn. Well, they mentioned it later that Saturn actually awoke at the end of the first arc of the anime. And that she was one of the catalysts that caused the whole reborn thing. But that always kind of confused me, being part of the anime. What do you guys?
I know what happened is she came back and she was supposed to bring like the entire world into death and everything. And then of course the other Sailor Scouts stood up against her. And then it was Rini that I guess finally got through to her and said, you know, brought her out of the darkness and everything. So
No, not an S. Actually, later on in the manga, they mentioned that Saturn actually awoke at the beginning, Barrel's attack, and that she was put back to sleep because they didn't want things destroyed. If I remember correctly.
I don't know. I know she got reverted after when you were saying when all their stars got stolen and everything, and after that she got reborn again as a child.
Yeah.
That was so cute.
She lived with Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. They
Yeah, a little family.
She gave it back. I've got 3 moms.
Well, in the manga versus the anime difference between that and that is that her father died in the manga, where in the anime he was still alive, though he didn't have much of a memory.
That whole Mistress 9 bit is just confusing as heck.
Nice word choice.
Wait, can I just ask something real quick? So, in short, Green Barrel was enough of a threat where basically the embodiment of death had to be woken up and then put back to sleep just to let everything do.
Well, yeah, see, they
go
didn't
out.
want Saturn alive, honestly. If I remember the storyline correctly.
Messiah a whole bunch?
Yeah, they did not want. Yeah, they did want her alive, and it was mentioned pretty much that they had been killing her off and putting her to sleep so she would not awaken. Because if she awoken, it would destroy the universe in a sense, death and rebirth. Which is why there was a whole issue between Saturn and,
And the elders.
yeah, the Outers wanting to kill her
Yeah.
because they knew that.
I think in the manga I just read it's a little more docile. They didn't exactly want to kill her. It's just they tried very, very hard to keep her from coming from where she was. And I guess I don't know what series of the manga I just finished, but I think there was 12 books maybe. But
Yeah.
it's got all the original art book.
Yeah, the new one is 12.
I know Uranus and Neptune went back up to their planets to make sure that Saturn stayed where she was and everything. But that's why they also, in the end, took care of her. They took her in, and after she was reborn and everything, like, we're gonna
Don't stand in the back.
make it so she.
It's really awkward if you're back there.
Come have a seat, it's
Yeah,
fun.
you're
We're
drawing
all
attention.
friends. We're gonna make her good again or something, But in the manga, they didn't really seem to want to kill her. At least not from what I read. It's just
It was, well, for me, I got it heavily hinted that, maybe not them, but like Serenity always had put her back to sleep because they didn't want the risk of her waking up.
It seemed, from what I got from it was death by duty, not so much, oh my gosh, it's alive!
Like, not yet.
Like, they really didn't want to do it, but they had to for the
Yeah,
sake
yeah.
of, I mean, Serenity and I'm just going to call him Endymion, because I think Darian is the dumbest.
I'm gonna destroy that name too.
When Serenity and Endymion, eventually become Neo Queen Serenity and King Endymion, they're basically in charge of not just planet Earth, but as protectors of that whole solar system. She's basically their queen, so they wanted to protect that future. They wanted to protect their queen. They did it as a sense of obligation, and not so much because they just wanted to kill Saturn. So, I mean, there was a lot of conflict with that. They don't want to kill their own.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I have a question. You know that thing where in the books, in the manga, they talk about how King Endymion had these protectors, and they were like these gems, and they were like
The Shitano.
There was like 4 of them, but then the anime they used the same names for like barrels, like people.
Those are the same people.
I think she took control
She
of
brainwashed him.
Yeah, she brainwashed
Yeah, but
what she did with Endo
but
in
in
the second book.
the anime, they kill them off, and in the manga,
They just turned back to stone.
They killed
Yeah,
her.
and they came
I missed
back.
that.
Oh my gosh! Did you? I cried when they killed Nephilim. I'm just gonna tell you that.
Yeah, they
I
killed
read an episode with the girl Susan, Molly. Oh my god, that episode.
Okay, there's gonna be like spoilers here, so I'm just letting you know. Like, she didn't know that there's like spoilers.
Emotional speech.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
No,
I missed that. Oh my god, I'm kind of glad I did though.
No, they killed him off, and they, when I first watched it when I was like 11, I didn't realize that they actually killed the scouts.
Oh yeah,
It was the editing. It was the editing. They made it look like we're just gonna put you away in a corner. Don't worry, Sailor Moon. You'll protect us.
Mars exploded, but it's okay. She's fired. That cancels it out.
I just gotta say, I love things like this. Especially how it's kind of dark, but you don't really notice it until a while later.
Yeah.
It's just like Pokemon.
And then it haunts your dreams.
It's nice because then you can watch it when you're a little kid. You're like, oh, cool, these neat colors and transformations.
It's
and they're
Lion
super
King,
awesome.
But
then
then
you grow up, you're like,
wow, I appreciate
this
this
in
in
a
a
whole other sense because there's a lot more going on that I could have understood. When
It's
I
like
was
The
10.
Simpsons. They put in jokes for all ages.
Did anybody go to the SpongeBob panel last night?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, because there was a lot of that. There was a lot of how if SpongeBob there's probably all know, but it's like a super dumb.
my
If you watch it
friend-
again, you realize there's a lot of things you didn't catch.
Oh,
as a
yeah.
kid.
My friend ran that panel. He was SpongeBob.
Really? He was a very good SpongeBob.
Do you guys think that King Endymion actually, Tuxedo Mask actually counts as a Sailor Scout?
No.
No.
They made it sound like in the manga at least.
They made it sound like he's Sailor Earth, quote unquote.
Oh
my
god.
Did someone have a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I got asked the same question. Like my boyfriend, he does not understand any of this. He will ask like, well, why are they transforming? Why are they naked? And I'm like, it's like, so who's the Sailor Scout of Earth? I'm like, there really isn't one because the one who protects Earth is Darien, right?
I think no, actually,
it was
that Damien
hinted
is.
that Molly, if it was ever necessary, by the actual creator, it was hinted that if it was ever necessary, Molly would have been the Sailor Scout for Earth, but the
Which is
never
why
wrote-
hers. Which is why hers.
Who's Molly? Molly.
That's the one
Not
who
waving
hair.
Yeah, but in the manga,
In the manga, it says that Damien. In the manga, it says that Damien. Usagi got, or not Usagi, Neo Queen Serenity got in trouble because she fell in love with the Guardian of Earth, and then that's when they became Crystal Tokyo. So it's in the manga, at least leads you to believe that Tuxedo Mask is quote unquote Sailor Earth because he was from the Earth, she was from the moon.
Yeah, but they
and then they got together.
They also pretty much hinted at the fact that their love was it wasn't hinted. Their love was forbidden.
Very, very forbidden.
And the Earth was not a part of the kingdom that the moon and the other planets resided in, even though it was in the middle of everything.
In short, Romeo and Juliet without everybody dying.
I actually know the answer to this one.
I don't think it's actually like Romeo and Juliet. I feel like it's an insult for me because I feel like Romeo and Juliet it's not because the manga wasn't like it's not about like Usagi and Damien.
In Romeo and Juliet, the Capulets and Montagues are like rivaling forces, but isn't Sailor Moon like the moon and the earth like coexist to create harmony and resources?
Yeah.
So that's one of the differences.
I meant more on the aspect of the whole forbidden love thing. I mean, like,
Well, that's just forbidden fruit. It has nothing to do with Romeo and Juliet. That's just saying, you guys, you know, every single one of us, we want the forbidden fruit every once in a while. Every one of us is guilty of it. There you go.
Well, you could say it's a better version of Romeo and Juliet.
The thing is,
by far.
Naoko didn't intend for any men to be Sailor Scouts. She was very much so, like kind of feminist in the sense that women can be strong on their own. They don't need, the men to constantly save them, even though that's pretty much Tuxedo Mask. But basically, you find out in the Stars series that all of the scouts are women. So, by technicality, Tuxedo Mask is not a scout. He does have a star seed. He does have the golden star seed, but he is not an actual scout. He's just a gunman.
The last season, though, I think it explains somewhere that that's how women are in their universe.
Yeah.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Seiya, because Seiya wasn't.
What about the Sailor
No,
Stars?
in the manga, the Sailor Starlights are all girls. They dress as guys in the manga. They never transform.
Yeah, but in the anime, they are guys.
Yeah, in the anime they are guys, but Chibi Chibi also changes their whole idea in the anime versus the manga.
And Stars really, Naoko was not happy with what they did to the Starlights. She tried and pushed so hard to have the Starlights be women who just dress like boys, like Sailor Uranus. They were drag kings. But they were like, no, that's too confusing. Okay, so it's less confusing to have a bunch of boys transform into girls?
I was always confused.
Which is why we have the new one.
Okay, so I have a question for someone down there who's a little bit smarter than I am on this. What is the author's her definition of how Sailor Uranus classifies him herself? I don't really female because all the Sailor Scouts are female, but is it drag king? Is that the term? I'm thinking of the politically correct term to describe Sailor Uranus.
Sailor Uranus would be more like she's gender fluid because she kind of does go back and forth between the genders and she doesn't necessarily stick to one or the other, but when she's a Sailor Scout, she is female.
Yeah.
But when she's out of her Sailor Scout mode, sometimes she dresses very masculine and sometimes she dresses very
She
feminine.
kissed Usagi. That's very
Yeah.
very manly.
It's really weird because
Sailor Uranus,
I would say she would be more gender fluid than picking one or the other.
I found it confusing growing up. I was like, is Sailor
even worse
Uranus,
when
a
you
guy
try to-
or a girl.
It's really weird.
And, well, she wasn't a
It's
scout.
worse in the dub where they try to explain that they're just really close cousins.
Oh
Yeah, I know in the manga they're like lovers, but then I guess in the show it's like they're cousins, and I'm like, okay, so which is it? Like,
No,
like,
in the show, it's only the dub.
Yeah, in the dub, in America they focus more on the guy girl thing.
Remember that anime back in the day when Sailor Moon came out was edited. They had this mentality that it's a cartoon, it's meant for kids, let's edit it down for kids. So this was edited for a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
So
the original Japanese version, it's geared toward 14 as their youngest. And,
well, mind you, in Japan, adulthood is considered 13.
Yeah. So, if you're not saving the world by 12, you're not a very good
You see, that's why if you realize that in Japan adulthood is considered 13, you realize that all these animes were 13-year-olds. It's like, oh, this is what they consider being adult. It makes a little more sense now why they focus on that age.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of the Japanese culture is kind of meshed into this anime. You really have to know a lot about Japan as a country and their history and their backstory. Especially if you know the story of Princess Kaguya, well then you've got the whole anime right there. So a lot of the folklore is incorporated in this. So you can't have Sailor Moon without having Japanese
And
culture.
Greek mythology.
Yes.
Yeah, I wrote a paper in high school about it. My teacher looked at me like I was crazy. The paper was you had to find 10 references in modern society of Greek mythology, and I just pulled out my Sailor Moon printed out
There
book.
you go.
Like Ray, Artemis, Luna. Okay, I have most of it.
And I think like even what's that like folk story about like the bunny and the moon, like
Mochi?
Yeah, and like that's what Sailor Moon was based off of. That's where her name came from. It was
Yeah.
They see a rabbit in the moon.
They see a different side of the moon
They
than
see a
we
lot
do,
of
just a little, like it's skewed a bit. So theirs looks like an actual rabbit and a barrel where you pound rice into mochi. So
Instead of the mat.
Yes. And that's why Luna's thing is like, I'm making Muchi on the moon.
that's their password at the arcade.
Yes.
God, this day I feel so nostalgic.
Yes,
Get to talk about
this is
Sailor
why.
Dude, I just gotta say.
This has been a dying fandom for so long, and finally we're getting more stuff. We can bring more people in.
But lately, Sailor Moon has become like I want to say like not like fashion, but like not fashion forward. What's the term? Like
Vogue.
Awesome.
it's become like a thing where like people like it's like a
Retro.
yeah, it's retro. My cousin is she's 14 and she follows like fashion, like popular things like hipster and like grunge very closely. And she comes up to me and she asks me like, "What do you know about Sailor Moon?" And of course I'm like, "Sailor Moon, what?" And then she starts like drawing crests on her hands, like putting her hair in little udangos. I'm like, "Why?" She goes, "'Cause it's like a thing now." She used the word "thing," and that like I felt like it was kind of like, "Oh, you're only into Sailor Moon because it's popular." She didn't like watch the show. She watched it so she would understand the references and like know the outfits, and that's basically it. And that was like that killed me a little bit. Like it wilted me.
But you know, if she watched it, maybe she
Would
watching
like
it,
it.
she would like it, and even if all she takes away from it is like the fashion and the crests and all that stuff, that's still fine because you know at least
If
she
she
got
likes
that
it.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but what
think
if she
that
just
just
points it out?
I think that just because
Well, whatever.
there are
You
don't
know,
have
you
to
can get
be a
really pissed
hardcore
about
fan.
it that someone watched something for only being like the fashion and stuff. But you know, why hurt yourself with that? Why get mad over it? If someone wanted to watch like Dragon Ball Z and just take away the silly shoes and the silly hair and stuff, I'd be like, okay, cool. At least you allowed yourself to have that experience instead of automatically being like, no, I don't want to do that. That's
You're an
weird.
optimist.
No, I would allow them to have that experience. If all they take away is like a bunch of silly shit, that's fine.
But yeah, the other thing would be, you know, you're talking about putting her hair up in the dongos. Even if she doesn't get anything out of the anime, just when she's walking around, people are going to ask, "Why do you have your hair like that?" "Oh, Sailor Moon." "Oh, what's this?" And then those people go and watch it. Or they see the crests that she's drawing on her hands and says, "What's that from?"
It's kind of like grassroots
And then they
marketing.
go watch it.
No
So-
curiosity is bad for this.
Unless you're Miley Cyrus.
It's free advertisement.
Okay, I have a question for y'all. Do you guys think that shoujo, like magical girl or shoujo, has bad connotation in the anime world? Like, do you think people are like, no, really?
I think
it does.
Yes and no at the same time.
I think after Sailor
Raise your
Moon,
hand, I'm gonna pick on you.
I think after Sailor Moon, it for me, my opinion on it is that the market got oversaturated because this became a thing, and then it started dying off. And it honestly, as much as I love Sailor Moon, more than likely we wouldn't be getting this reboot without Madoka. Madoka. Yeah. Madoka is more than likely one of the catalysts for why we're getting a reboot, besides it being the 20-year anniversary.
Alright,
Yeah,
up
yeah,
front, and
20.
then I have to make a point.
Yeah.
Yes and no. I mean, wait, what was the question again?
Do you think that shoujo like Sailor Moon, like magical girls, kind of has like it's like magical girls? Do you get viewed like that in the anime community?
Well, I mean, if you really don't understand it
Yeah.
and you really just don't know anything about it, then yes. But if you like watch it and you know all about it, then it's no. So like, there's two different types of people out there: those who just think of it as rubbish or even porn. Then yeah, they think it's not appropriate enough. Because, I mean, some of it, you actually see their chest, but nothing distinctive.
I actually have, that
Well-
was right into my next point. I'm sorry, I'm just steal the stage for a little bit. So, anybody know you were rising anime Kill la Kill?
Yes.
Okay, so I was talking to a friend who's really into Kill la Kill, and I asked her, what do you think is one of the main points of Kill la Kill? She said it's about like loving your body, respecting yourself, and being able to fight. And I asked her, like, isn't that kind of like magical girl ideology, like female empowerment to yourself, being able to like pull your heart and like wear it on your body and be able to like fight for yourself? And she goes, not. And she was like, yeah, but Kill la Kill did a better job. And I'm not saying it's like to like get mad at her. I'm just saying she thought that like Kill la Kill, because they were, I want to say flashier. I didn't ask her why, but she thought maybe because it's.
I think it's more of a personal preference for her. Like, maybe she liked Kill la Kill because it spoke to her a little more than like Sailor Moon.
Yeah, because I could say the same thing about Mecha. Like, it sounds like you're saying all shoujo magical girl stuff is the same, and it's got a bad rap for it. But Mecha, you could have like 1,000 different Mecha that are all the same, but I'm still gonna like Gundam Wing the best out
Yeah,
of.
that was actually kind of the point I was going to make too, you know, saying that, you know, shoujo has a bad rap. Well, yeah, it does, in the same way that mecha has a bad rap, in the same way that shonen has a bad rap. You know, it's just there are certain groups of people who just hate it because of what it is. It's just
Everything's got a job.
yeah, and I mean, to a certain degree, shoujo has the same bias against it that, you know, most things oriented toward the female demographic has in the nerd community. It's getting better now. It's not there yet, as I'm sure everyone here can tell. Yes, but yeah, you know, it is getting better. But it's, especially with the new Miss Marvel, has anybody heard about that stuff that they got? Yeah. But yeah, so like I said, getting better, not even close to actually being there yet. But again, that would be where I would say it's got the same, it's in that same vein of being dismissed as being, oh, it's just for girls, quote, unquote.
And, I mean, like, as far as stuff like Magical Girl and Kill la Kill goes, I mean, like, stuff like Kill la Kill, what draw my attention was, I saw it, I sampled the first episode, like, the first 5-10 minutes, and I managed to, like, see a strong female lead have to do something, and I didn't know what it was, so it drew my attention. Same as, like, Magical Girl. I mean, it doesn't come up often, and most people will look at Magical Girl and say, eh, but, I mean, if you think about it, Magical Girl has also spawned multiple references in other forms of media, like even gaming. I mean, like, just shonen in general is a huge thing, and I mean, it does take a lot of crap from people, and I just wish that they'd, take a small amount of time, just check out a lot more of it and broaden their horizon.
Yeah, don't let the genre stop you from getting into an anime. Just, if it entertains you.
But it's like in the same vein with Magical Girl, at least, with me growing up in the fandom for as long as I've been in it. And, even being in high school and being like, oh yeah, I'm into Sailor Moon, and they're like, really, that stuff's for little kids. And that's typically what the stigma is for Magical Girl, Magical Girl is for, the tween crowd and younger. And if you still like Magical Girl, when you're an adult, say I am, I'm going to be, I'm in my early 30s now, and I'm still like, Magical Girl, yes!
25, I hear you.
Yes. 30.
It's even harder.
18.
I think Magical Girl genres are even harder for the male community.
It is.
Yeah, it is. But
you get that.
Overall, our culture in general, the United States is getting better, but we still have this viewpoint that cartoons in general just are for kids. If you watch cartoons, there's two versions. You're either watching a 7-year-old's cartoon or you're watching the raunchy. It's got no brain cell, but it's raunchy because
like
people
Adult
are dying.
Swim.
South Metal Alphabets.
Yeah. There's just two. The United
have gone to adult, very adult humor.
I think personally, the reason why I don't like shonen is because I feel like there's this constant repeating motif of this female who needs to be male-like to be strong, whether it needs to be a female that it has too many associations with a female gender role, that it's weak, and you have this repeating thing that I think is offensive because it's you have this girl who acts like a female who is weak, and versus in shoujo manga or Magical Girl, you have this girl who acts female, who has these associating female gender roles, and is strong and is powerful and can do things that isn't female empowerment. So that's why I was talking about this bad stigma against shoujo manga, is because everyone assumes that shoujo manga is this romance, boy girl, fluffy, I don't know.
But at the same point, though, you have to remember that Japan is still very much a misogynistic society.
Very, very misogynist. They've actually stopped.
What does that mean?
Male-centric, male-oriented.
Like patriarchy.
Yeah.
Right.
Patriarchy. That's a good word.
Oh, by the way, if it makes you feel any better, my dad's 52 and he still watches anime with me.
And
Oh, my dad, he's in his mid-40s and he's watching all sorts of anime.
I was gonna say, wait a second. If you look at Sailor V in the beginning, all the girls are going, "Oh my God, look at Sailor V, she's so cool."
Thing about misogyny. Okay, so in anime, you could generalize and make a lot of you mad, but there's two roles that a lot of female anime can get pulled into. It's the weak, name a crybaby, and there's the I'm powerful, I'm the overlord, I will kick your
soon versus Dairy.
Do you think that Usagi, because the first word to describe her is crybaby, do you think she does a good job of the best of both worlds? Because she is very much weak, but when she is in Sailor Moon form, even through the show, she becomes stronger, she stands up for herself more, her progression as a character slides her into a third world. She's still very much, she cries, she whines, she's really annoying at points, but she's strong and she's powerful and she's the leader of these soldiers. It's wow.
The one thing
Most of the time, but there are those funny scenes where she's Gaga over Tuxedo Max.
Well, that because it's kind of realistic. When you're 12, you don't want to have to go and fight evil. That sucks.
Right. She's only 14
I don't
in
want to
the
fight
show.
homework, let alone go fight evil. So there's kind of having to grow into being an adult and having all these responsibilities.
Yeah, I think they show that really well when she's with all the other, she said when Galactica was coming and taking all of the other sailors, and she's in there and she realizes, I'm alone. I got no one to come bail me out. And that's when she goes, she's crying and she goes, no, I am done crying. She goes, if they can do all this, I can too. I am Sailor Moon. I am the leader. And I love that as a kid because, she grew up right then and there. And, she saw Minnie Moon being able to do all this stuff and she goes, wow, she's just a kid and look at that. And then she goes, wait a second, but she's my kid, so, she has to get that from somewhere and I have power like that. And she, she's like, I saw what Queen Serenity is like, so I know I find my inner strength at some point. And at that moment, she really does. And then after that, she was like, I'm done. I'm strong. I'm powerful. I can do this.
Yeah, the whole up until that point.
Okay, I have a question. Who is Chibi Chibi?
That is Sailor Moon's second daughter.
Wait, but
What? No. It depends on the anime versus the manga.
In the manga, she is the second daughter.
No, she's not. No,
In
she's
the
not.
manga, she's like the reincarnation.
Yeah,
of
she's the ultimate version of Sailor Moon. She is Sailor Cosmos in the manga. In the anime, she's the starseed of Galaxia, the purest starseed, who has been shoved out of her when she took in all the darkness to go find someone worthy enough to wield her to take out the darkness.
okay, because like she had the same type of hairstyle as Rainy and
Yeah, in the parallel universe, she's Usagi's second daughter.
That is a whole other can of worms.
Different barbecue.
We only have an hour,
Really
people.
fast.
Only an hour. We can't do this.
With the series, you get enough time to, with episodes, you get enough in there. With the manga, they just threw everything in there. Like I said, I just finished the manga, and it's just one book, all of a sudden, this is all happening in one single book, and then the very next book is all of a sudden, all this is happening. So all of a sudden, I'm at the end of it, and there's Chibi Chibi, and I'm like, what's going on? I missed something here,
The anime just spurts things at you.
Yeah.
There's no background text, and you're just like, wait, where did you come from? What?
Yeah.
You watch every episode though, like you're 250, and you're
And
like,
suddenly there's another cat!
my TV's had a kid? What? Like, who's male? Like, you don't know what's going on in the anime, but in the manga they explain everything.
I think that by the time you finally establish the senshis and your characters, you have 500 other characters who are watery, and you're slowly learning that, but they keep throwing stuff at you, and you're like, guys, I only have 2 hands. That's how I felt about it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the headcanon that a lot of people have about the inner senshis dating
The Shitano?
yeah.
Well, there's an official.
What is
There's
senshis and stuff?
Inner Senshi is the 4 inner planet scouts, so Mercury, Venus, Mars,
Though Jupiter technically is outer, but
What?
she's on the outer ring. She's past the
Well, she's still an inner scout. She's still an inner Senshi.
Though inner and outer is fandom. That's not.
It's not world, out of solar system canon. It's Sailor Moon.
The first.
I think it was when it was Serenity in the Moon Kingdom and stuff. Maybe there was something there, but
Yeah, there's official artwork with them all paired off.
Naoko had done a comic art picture of
Of all them in the sky holding each other
and she had dabbled along with the concept of that, but before it could even come to fruition with her editors, they pulled the idea because she decided, no, I really want to keep this very strong female oriented, so she changed them to being Prince Endymion's posse, basically. They helped him, and which is why when he was losing his memory, they came in holographically and helped him back out. Which was plot convenience, right?
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't there a scene with Usagi, when Usagi and then Venus came in, and she was like, you can't see him, and then she was blushing because she was talking about her first love was one of.
I think that might have been in the live action.
See what I'm talking about?
Where were they?
They were in the moon castle. It was a flashback. And Venus was
Venus
blushing.
caught her coming back from Earth and then seeing her, that I think
It
that
was
goes
a
back
glimpse
to
of that guy, and you were like, ooh, and they never.
Yeah,
talked
that
about
was
it
when
again.
she was wondering if she could weasel that in, but that's about as far as it went. They're like, yeah, let's pull that back. That's gonna get too complicated. All of the other planets wanting all of these other guys from the same one planet. It was really
We made
long distance relationships don't work.
Way long.
relationships don't work.
They may or may not touch upon that in the anime a little bit more.
I hope
we don't know.
Yeah, I hope that answers your question about this. And it's like she said, kind of a fandom thing. But when Inner Sense, essentially, they're talking about
She likes it.
the 5 original, and then you bring in the outer, which is the other 4? I can do math, right? The other 4 planets are the outer.
Yeah, you had something.
Good.
I just wanted, like, who are you guys? What are your favorite characters? Could be
Tuxedo Man.
I have honestly got to say my favorite of the Sailor Scouts, or I'm not sure if you can actually say Sailor Scouts. I gotta say my favorite from the beginning was always Moon.
Oh yeah.
I just found it so endearing.
She was so annoying. Oh my gosh.
She was annoying, but she was like this adorable, like tiny character. But when you saw her like gearing up and you saw her like actually in a fight, I'm just like, oh my god.
I found it kind of odd that she had like this Mongol crush on her dad from the past.
I know that was.
Oh my god! I was like,
I also found it funny that
girls love their dads.
yeah, but she like clubbed him on a different level.
Yeah, and his comments right there.
There's the thing for when any little girl is little, they sit there and say, I'm going to marry my dad.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a common thing you'll see.
Black Lady just decided to do that.
But of course, when Pegasus came around, she instantly forgot about Dad.
See, that's my biggest problem. She goes from her dad to a horse.
You in the back.
No, bring it
If we're going to go anime-wise, she also falls for a fairy.
We got a
Oh yeah.
Oh, the movie.
Alright, you in the back.
Thank you, Fairy.
Isn't Minnie Moon not really their daughter because she's a future incarnation of them's daughter?
No.
That's going more into the Greek and Roman mythos of it, being that, gods could...
Because like Usagi doesn't really become Serenity, right? It's just...
No.
At the very end of the whole entire manga, when Usagi and Demean are getting... Well, I should probably not mix English and Japanese. I haven't had any conflict. When they get married, she already says, I can feel our child. She's
They woke up. Yeah, they woke up in a bed. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
the subtext is
That's as much as we can go into this, guys. This is 18 plus.
So technically, I would say she is the actual daughter and not the incarnation per se. Mythos-wise, being that Princess Serenity doesn't have a father, you can guess that it's just that same mythos where they are brought about by the idea of having a child. In this one, it's more modern family, and when a man and a woman love each other.
Minor badges. We got minor badges.
Hey, we didn't finish the favorite senshi question. I wanted to hear.
Yes, keep going down the line.
Yeah, come on.
Okay, who is it now?
Okay, well, I guess you guys guessed mine, so.
Is it real?
It's Pluto.
It's Takara Mama and Nachuro Papa.
I'm gonna go
the other way around.
My favorite senshi is Jupiter. I mean, like, the second I met her, I was like, I love you and I want to marry you. And that was like when I was like 4, guys. I was 4 years old. And I like her because, like, even as I was growing up, I felt like when later in series, like book 8 and 9, when they are, I want to say regaining their ability to transform, and she's like in like her dream self, and I read this like 2 years ago, and the little version of her comes and says, what happened to you? Your monster strength Jupiter. She's canonly the strongest senshi out of all the senshi.
Stronger than
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's strong. And besides Serena, who's like powering up every 25 seconds. She's like the strongest senshi, and I loved her because she's strong, but she loves to cook, and she wears rose earrings.
She's so girly.
And she's so girly, but she's like, she will kick some words I can't say in this panel.
The exact opposite of Usagi in the beginning. Usagi's the whiny baby who later finds powers. She's all like yeah.
Feminine, but she's masculine.
Yeah, she's feminine. She's feminine without masculine.
Love that about her.
Like, thank you. She knows what's up. She knows what's up.
I know because she's my favorite.
Oh yeah, I love her too.
Two in the same room.
Mine was Mars, because Moon annoyed me. And I found out later why Moon annoyed me is because my friends were like, she reminds me of you.
That is like the most hurtful thing ever.
My favorite is Alex Louise Armstrong.
like she's weak and I'm weak, and she's short and I'm short, and I love food and I love boys. It's just like that's the thing, like a repeating motif in my life. I don't like I communicate, like I connected with her probably the most of all the characters because I was so lost as a kid. Like I never knew what I wanted. I just wanted to like eat chips on my couch every single day and just like watch TV. Like that's all I wanted to do. Shut up.
I had the official Sailor Moon role-playing book, and I would go through like their bios in the back, and I was most like Haruka. So when I was 10 years old, I asked my mom for a haircut like Sailor Uranus.
Does anybody like Sailor Mercury? Like love her? Like you are like the select few in the world. I have like besides like someone like one person I know is like I love Mercury and I relate to her.
She's actually my second favorite.
Pushed out exactly. Like everybody seems to have like one, well everyone kind of as a whole seems to just have certain Sailor Scouts that are the favorites, and then there's the other ones that are just kind of like you can find one or two people that like them. But
yeah, like I mean like
I think it's personality wise. Some of them are
It's
more
mostly
out there than other ones.
Mostly you got the one that's your favorite, but then
the one you relate to the
look
most.
at you and they say, no, you're like this one. You are definitely like
I mean, like I feel like people like Sailor Venus and Sailor Mercury the hardest. I didn't relate to them at all because I'm not like Sailor Mercury because I'm not like meticulous, and I'm not like Sailor Venus because I'm not very flashy.
Okay, guys, I have like 5 minutes to the panel.
Crap! Sorry.
Well, no, it's fine. This is the whole point of this panel. Is I like doing a round table where we're all discussing an interaction. But okay, I need you all, myself and Mater not included, starting here and going from there to count a number. Each person gets a number. Remember your number. 1,
2,
3,
5,
6, 7,
8,
9, 10.
over there.
She's 11. 11?
12, 13. Oh, awesome.
15.
16.
Over.
18, 19,
20. 21.
22.
23, 24,
26.
27, 28, 29.
30. 31.
32. Go after. 13.
Okay, where were we?
31.
31. Who's
32. 3.
4, 35 over in the corner.
37.
38.
40. Armstrong is 40.
Woo!
I'm fine.
Okay. Okay. Number 8, 17, and 29.
Yes.
Come get candies.
7. So, you're 7, right? Oh, she said 7.
17 and 29. Yep.
Do you want to go to the snowman?
I bought these because the S movie, which is my favorite movie.
Yes. Oh god.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, she has, yeah. Here he is.
That's so
What happens when cold things get
This is why you should
Okay, and number 14 and 5 can do a rock, paper, scissors to pick their glass. Whoever wins gets to pick.
John Candy to the death.
We got the super ass brooch, and we got the Usagi's bed.
Okay, which one do you want?
Rabbit on the moon.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to do this.
Let's just pick one.
Yeah.
I don't really
Okay, I'll pick this one.
Yay!
Okay. Okay, we've got like
A second round.
3 more minutes before they're gonna like try and boot us out probably.
Meh. So in 3 minutes, someone reenact the Sailor Moon transformation sequence.
Wait, which one?
I haven't stretched my arms enough for that.
Armstrong!
Only if Ben enjoys me.
I actually have the Sailor Moon transformation music on.
Do it!
Do it!
You have to have a thing tomorrow.
The brooch!
Please don't break that. I will murder you.
I can take it.
Find it. Hold on.
I don't fully remember this song.
Move it along.
Oh, it happened to me.
Risen power makeup.
Kick your leg up to your face. You guys know the ending pose, right? Yes.
Oh, you better get
You
that.
better. Get
Always
That was amazing.
Sailor Bane and Sailor Armstrong.
The sailor's gone over there.